It's really as simple as that. Releasing what no longer serves you through the breath, through the intention of releasing that through the breath. Greetings, fellow magical wanderers. There's been multiple videos where I'm starting it out the same, saying, here I am again, back after some time away. Busy, healing, moving through a lot of different energies. Being a grid worker and a light worker, and one that is here to uplift the consciousness of humanity, I'm never bored. I always have something to do. So sometimes that requires you to pull in all of your fields back to yourself and love yourself fully. Say it with me. I pull in all my fields and I love myself. I pull in all my fields and I love myself. I pull in all my fields and I love myself. It's honestly quite fascinating to me to see how this process of me sharing these expressions and these channeled messages have evolved in many different forms and ways and at different times, and also how I look back at my own videos and I feel like a completely different person than I was last month, than I was 2 weeks ago. I feel like a completely different person, and I have more to share. I have a newfound remembered path that I'm pursuing in my life personally, and it is one that I desire to grow and cultivate personally without sharing all the secrets and all the ways I'm going about doing things, because that's also what it's all about when you pull in your fields and love yourself, is you reel in all of your energy and you consciously, intentionally choose what you want to share with the world, and also what you want to keep in your heart for yourself. And you are perfectly rightful of doing so. There's no rule saying you can't. There's nothing saying that you're selfish for doing that. It's your life. It's your creation. It's your story. It's your craft. It's your practice. Do as you will, as you please. That is what this free will is all about. And there's plenty of opportunity to act upon that free will. In ways that build, empower, satisfy, fulfill, and nourish the whole entirety of your life experience. And I'm calling unto you. I'm invoking your presence here and now. I'm invoking thy presence unto here and now, to bring unto your awareness of how you can best hone in on the very thing that you genuinely, truly desire to manifest in your life. It's very simple, yet it requires discipline and consistency, focus and willpower, passion and purpose. And these things are all easily accessible if you allow this gateway to open for yourself. Love and compassion go a very long way. And something I have learned recently is taking the emotional attachment out of compassion and having it be an embodiment of compassion. Because if you're just emotionally attaching to compassion, then that's only one fraction of that whole infinite potential abyss of what that compassion can fully evolve into. But if you detach that emotion from compassion and you embody it and live as a compassionate being, then all that you do, all that you say, all that you think, all that you believe, all that you share, all that you act upon is rooted deeply in that source center of compassion. And that unlocks grace, that unlocks patience, that unlocks gratitude, that unlocks deeper dimensional states of high vibrational love. That unlocks your shadow self so that you can begin to integrate unto your fullness. You can begin to integrate all that you truly are, which is the shadow and the light. Something that came into my awareness recently is how Shiva, you see the serpent around Shiva's neck? Well, that serpent is representing the reptilian self. And notice how it is draped as if it's a scarf around his neck. Calmly, gracefully draped around his neck. To me, in my perception and how I believe this image and what it's depicting to us, as an example that we all have access to, is we have the ability to integrate our shadow self, our low density selves, the lower density we may be experiencing in our bodies, or the lower realms in which our descended selves exist, just as much as our ascended selves exist. We have the ability to pull that into the source, into the oneness, integrate it, master it, and have that aspect as a part of ourselves lovingly and in radical acceptance of what it is, of what its true nature is, and what the true nature of that potentially will never change. And if it were the other way around, and Shiva had not mastered his reptilian self aspects, his shadow self, then that serpent would be strangling him rather than gracefully draped around his neck. It's symbolical, just as many things are in ancient depictions, in biblical philosophical stories. The symbology is really where the message is most of the time. And there's a lot of symbology in the Bible that is speaking metaphorically. And what's happening in this collective that has now come to pass, because we are ascending forward and we are here now, present. What happened back there is the sense of metaphorical understanding was beginning to get lost in the hypercritical, hyper-scientific identifying reality that found no use for metaphors, didn't even begin to understand them. Because If it wasn't an immediate answer and it wasn't right there in front of your face for you to look at, comprehend, and understand, well then. But a lot of answers lie within ancient metaphorical symbology, and if you go into aspects of our history with that perception that there are answers lying within the metaphorical, then you will be able to help yourself out. Help yourself out of that bottomless pit, that low density shadow energy. Bring it up onto center, onto level. Integrate it, master it, practice mastery, and then bring your whole self unto fruition with that part now integrated as yourself. And to me, since I see metaphorical messages, I like to think of the devil and of God as the shadow and the light, the subconscious and the conscious. Subconscious being the shadow, the devil, the unseen, and the conscious being God, the knowing, the intention, the ascension. And when you collapse the timeline and paradigm of duality, you can become one with both aspects of yourself, no longer fighting one another, aka no longer fighting yourself. And you can then become unto full alignment in your original blueprint of a life. Your original soul's desires, why it chose to come here, what you knew you were to do, what you knew you wanted to do and experience and get past these lessons. And everything that has happened up to this point has been perfectly right on track. No matter what you perceive as, oh, I went down the wrong path 5 years ago. This happened 2 weeks ago. I wish this hadn't happened and all that. Everything that happened, take accountability for it because it happened. And if you don't take accountability for it, you'll go into the more so present moments to come and here now with this same energy of dissatisfaction, of unfulfillment, in which is an illusion, because if you were to release that and bring yourself in that compassion, grace, patience, and things that bring you personal fulfillment, then you are well on your way to achieving your destiny. And there's nothing stopping you, because you are it. And that's all there is really to it. It's not very, very complicated. I say this as I feel I have just traversed 5 thunder, lightning, electric, being evolving storms back to back to find this truth that really resonates in my center as truth. And that's why I'm sharing it. I had no idea what was going to come through right now today. I just felt a pull towards setting up my camera and pressing play for the first time in a while, because I've been traversing through a lot of different things and figuring my own stuff out, but still knowing it's all according to plan. And as much as I go along with the present moments and keep myself present without being too wrapped up in hyper telecommunications and consumerism and hyper matrix identification model, whatever, then that has allowed me to pull in my energy and love myself. And that's just profoundly powerful, and I share it to you for a reason. Because there comes a time when we realize what is best for ourself. And it's a God self-righteous action to take, meaning it's not selfish, it's not wrong, it's not out of place, you're not doing anything wrong. You are rightful of taking in all of your energy that you've sent out. You're rightful of taking it in and loving yourself. A very dear friend of mine taught me this, and ever since I have been able to focus a lot more, I've been able to tune into my magic again. I've been able to actually feel my state of meditativeness return unto me. Not like it ever left, but in my mind it got loud and foggy and, you know, just starting to, it's like a reawakening. And reawakenings are constantly happening. And we need to allow them to happen, because what's happening when we are reawakening is something within us is bubbling up to the surface. That's always been there. But perhaps it's a new aspect of ourselves wanting to come out into expression, wanting to come to our awareness to integrate and work with it and evolve, let it evolve into a new being. And that's literally how I feel. I feel like a different person from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was rough, to say the least. And that's in my own perception of what I believe rough is, because I can't tell you what rough is for you. I can only say what has been rough for me. And for a long time, there's been this battle happening within here. And I've just finally surrendered. I've finally come unto grace. I have kneeled at thy feet. I have gone into thy temple, and I have pulled all my energy in and have been loving myself radically. Looking at whatever imperfections I may perceive as imperfect in my life. Not just with my body, but with everything outside of my body. Radically accepting it and surrendering any sense of control that I think I may have over that. It's illusionary, whatever. I don't care. You get what I'm saying. Illusory. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyways. Yeah, it's just been... I've been tired a lot because I've been integrating a lot of different energies and working in a lot of different ways. Especially while I'm sleeping, I'm doing a lot of work in the astral and higher dimensional states. So sometimes, even if I sleep for 8-9 hours, I still will wake up feeling like I don't want to do much, or I'm tired, or even my body is sore. And I know that is because of the work I'm doing in the higher realms as a light worker and as a planetary healer, which is a lot of work. It takes an immense amount of energetic capacity to be in that position of planetary healer, because I go into the realm of nature, I go into the realm of humanity, I go into the realm of elementals, I go into the realm of angels, masters, higher selves, into the infinite field of pure potentiality, which is a blank black abyss where everything is possible and nothing exists at the same time. So that's a lot of work. And that's where I've been a lot. So and I recognize to some extent that it's also been a form of escapism from the physical worldly things going on around the planet right now. That, you know, if I wouldn't have started to pull in my fields and love myself, I would be probably overtaken by the distractions and the energies that do not belong to me, and that I would try to pick up because I'm compassionate, I'm empathic, sympathetic, and that's where discernment comes in even stronger, because you need discernment to really hone in on what is yours to pick up and what is not yours to leave where it's at. And that has been a lesson that I have been actively learning throughout the past well, I became aware of it in 2018 when I had my first initial spiritual awakening. Well, consciousness awakening. And I'd say I've probably been actively working in this realm for 6 years. 6 years, I'd say. It's about a year after my awakening, I started doing the work. And let me tell you that it has a way of remembering your timelessness, being that you don't exist on a linear time frame duality paradigm structure. You are a spherical state of consciousness, and you can go into different timelines and realms and dimensions at will, anytime you really feel you need to or you want to. And so at times that would create an escapism coping mechanism for me when the outside collective was getting too loud and rowdy and I needed to go into peace and solitude. And that's where I would go, and that's where I would start doing my work. on an energetic grid level. And it's been really interesting, really profound, and it definitely has me feeling like I am not 25. Like, there's no way. This physical incarnation as Hunter is very I don't have a word for it. It's fascinating. It's being that I'm never bored anymore. You can imagine why that is. There's always something for me to do. And that reminds me, when I was younger, my grandpa was all about, well, my grandpa and grandma were all about not being bored ever. And if you were to be found bored, well, you would be given something to do. Well, now, since I was raised like that, and I already had that momentum, now I feel as if the ascended masters, the higher selves, and the higher galactic vibrational state consciousness beings are in the position of what I would perceive my grandma and grandpa to be, like in that altered reality of always giving me something to do so that I'm never bored. And it's become very normal for me to never be bored anymore, ever, because I'm always doing something. And even when they are not giving me something to do, I'm giving myself something to do. And sometimes that something to do is sit in silent meditation and charge my peace. And doing nothing is also doing something. So don't give yourself too much pressure. Don't be too hard on yourself. Look in the mirror, love yourself, smile. You're doing okay, okay? You're doing great. And just know everything is working out in your favor. You're definitely not alone. If you call upon your ascended masters, your guardian angels, your higher self, and you ask, how can I best be of service? Well, cheers. Welcome to the team. You're hired. We need more people who are asking the grander question outside of themselves. How can I best be of service unto the highest, greatest good of all humanity and the cosmos and the evolution of the all? And that's what we're rising into, especially being that it's the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is very humanitarian, and this is the era that spans the whole next 1,000 years of golden potential. Collaboration, unity, prosperity, health, wealth, family, longevity, legacy. Dreams come true, creative innovation, Aquarian inventiveness, which, if you know Aquarius, you know how mystical and intuitive and magical and creative beings they are. Not to boast. But Aquarius. So we have a lot to look forward to. Again, don't be too hard on yourself. Just ease, grace, patience, compassion, gratitude, nourishment, Pull in all your fields and love yourself. And remember to breathe with the intention of releasing all that no longer serves you, and inhaling all that love, compassion, grace, gratitude, etc., whatever you want, inhaling it all, filling in that space. Now, without further ado, I'm going to get myself outside today because it is absolutely beautiful and I want some sunshine again. So yeah, I need to go ground. But I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support and the love and the belief in this craft that I have created. And thank you for the ongoing loyalty and compassion towards me, reaching out, seeing how I'm doing. And I speak that you are incredibly well, that your life is blooming prosperously and fruitfully, and that your dreams are coming true. And without further ado, I love you and namaste. Till next time.